Hey guys. So my name is Randy Stewart, and I'm going to be talking to you about the education that should be provided in prison systems. So there are two sides to this topic. Some people believe that we should go ahead and allow education in prison system, and then some people believe that we should not spend the money to be able to do that. The reason why I believe so firmly that we should provide education is due to the fact that uh, I have a lot of family and friends who have went through prison and went through the system, and then they get out and they're not sure how to reconnect with the actual real life world. Uh, it's actually a sad thing to see. Some of them don't even know how to use a smartphone or use a laptop or anything like that. And what do you do whenever you go to look for a job? You get online, you see what's available. Hardly anybody uses newspapers anymore or goes places, place by place to see if they're hiring. A lot of people just look it up and fill out an application online, and that's that until they get a call. I also apologize in advance. I've been sick for like a week, so sorry. Um, so let's take a look at some of the things, some of the key points as to what would make a difference in with providing education in the prison systems. So, um, how does general population compare to populations, that's been incarcerated? So, according to research, 18% of people have an education, and that's out here in the real world, not prison. Um, Now, the percentage of incarcerated individuals is sitting roughly about 40% without a high school diploma. Okay. Um, and then only about 24% of people who have been incarcerated go on to continue that education and get it higher. Now, I will say that the higher the education that they're able to maintain, the less likely they are to get reincarcerated. Now, uh, sometimes we wonder about, okay, well, what about the age group? Does that have anything to do with it? The age group does have something to do with it because 21 and younger is the highest age group to be arrested and be in prison. Um, and then people who did not complete high school usually was rearrested at a 60.4%. So I feel like education has quite a bit to do with whether or not they're going to go ahead and, get in trouble and fall back on their old ways, or, whether they feel like they have a fighting chance to be able to maintain in this world. Um, Now, here's the cool thing is that most of the states, they do offer some kind of program, whether it be GED, whether it be, parenting, whatever may be the case, they do offer some kind of program. Um, Now, a lot of the people, whenever we talk about this issue, come into the fact that they don't want to spend the money. They believe that it's going to cost so much more to provide an educational system in prisons, and why should they spend the money on that? They didn't get in trouble. They aren't the ones who, didn't finish high school or didn't go to college or whatnot. So why should they spend the money on that? Okay, so let's get into this topic. Did you know that you will actually be spending less money if we provided the schooling needed and offered that in prisons than you would on a regular day to day what we're currently doing? So right now, uh, we are paying tax dollars for them to eat, for them to be clothed, for them, for electricity, for whatever. We are providing that. Granted, there is state funding and whatnot, but we are the ones providing that. Um, Now, think about this. If I told you that if everyone just contributed $1, then that would be $4 to $5 off your taxes, would you believe me? It happens. That's what would happen. So, it is proven, like I stated, that with the higher educational and how much higher they get in their education, there's less chance of them doing illegal things. So, if we could provide education, and while they're sitting in the system, or provide some kind of vocational education, they have more of a chance of feeling like that they can make it out here, and then we wouldn't have to pay that money for them for whenever they do mess up and get reincarcerated. Now, here's the thing: is that most people within 3 years are going to get reincarcerated after being let out. A lot of that reasoning is because they fall back into their old habits. That's all that they know. That's how they know how to make a living. That's how they know how to provide for their family, for their kids. So that's what they do. Now, if we could save $4 to $5 every year on our taxes, would you do it? I know I would. I enjoy saving money. I enjoy helping people. So if I can help the inmates, be a better person when they get out, why not do that? Why not contribute? That would make our society a whole lot better. So, uh, here's what the thing is, and this is what I want you to consider: is that in the end, would you rather spend the $1 a year for them to do educational purposes, and be able to re-enter the real world as productive society members? Uh, what do you think? Do you think education in prison should be allowed? Do you think that we should go ahead and take that step forward and try to better them and make sure that they have a way out, rather than going back and selling dope, um, robbing stores, robbing cars, hurting people? Okay, the hurting people is a little iffy. If you hurt people, then sadly that's probably what you're gonna do, and you probably deserve to be locked up. But you get my point. Um, Now, see, now here's another thing: is that um, a lot of the states, like I said, do offer things. A lot of state prisons, they have come up with a lot of programs in different states to be able to do that. My thing is, why not make it every state? Why not offer vocational? Why not offer educational? If you don't have your GED, most of them do offer GED classes. But vocational, they can take a look at what's needed around that area that the prison is located. That way, when they get out, it's easier for them to find jobs. That's less for us to worry about. That's jobs that's going ahead, and inmates will usually do the lowest jobs because they're happy to have a job. They're happy to be out and be productive. So, and then they can further their education. When they further their education, they can move on to higher paying jobs. They can move on to better jobs. That's better for us. That's more people with more brains that can help, establish this world, help continue doing what we do. So that is why I believe that we should go ahead and, fight for prisons to have educational systems. Fight for maybe even county jails. A lot of people spend years in a county jail. And, a lot of times it doesn't happen. A lot of times they get transferred, but there is occasions when they do. Why not offer a small program for the inmates that have been there for years? Be like, okay, look, this is the vocational. Let's talk about this. Let's get you in. A lot of the schooling that they could be doing could be online. I know that we can work it. They have tablets and whatnot in prisons and jails now that they can reach out to their family members. Why not have an educational one? Uh, just some things, to keep you thinking about. Um, I know if I was locked up for years, I'd want something to keep my mind busy, that keep me out of trouble while I'm locked up with nothing to do. Make it educational.